They saw all sorts of stuff. I couldn't believe it. We went into, because photocopy is in there. So they were showing us how to use photocopy, and we said, yeah. The map on the website.
Back again. I've got the video man behind it. We're getting you next day. You're coming around to your side. Oh, no, there you go. Oh, we got hair out of place. We saw you walking, we passed it through. Good morning.
Right, Tony. You've a lot of steaks today. Good old dump. Yeah, sausage rolls.
Oh yeah. Yes, she did. Yeah.
Oh, we're not. I'm not ready for the camera yet. Oh, he's a monkey. This gentleman's a monkey with that camera. Usually when I've got a mouthful or something. This is your best friend. Yeah, this is lovely. We just had to get me British Blue Catherine before we came. She's a monkey.
Lovely temperament, and she's very busy these days, isn't she, running up and down?
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's so quiet. Well, she's still quiet, but she's never used to run around.
She's not yappy, is she?
No, she isn't.
Maybe get accelerated at the time. And then they move deal.
The close up of the pies.
Yeah. Is that for your tea?
No, not today. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, that that's not sales one. Camera, I'm camera
mix it up with a little bit of milk or even water, and before you put your put it on.
1, 2.
Put it on.
My mother used to pre-bake.
Yeah, with peas, you put peas in.
Morning. Are we all ready?
No, we haven't got fun. No.
Julian says this is the hardest quiz you've ever been to.
Always told me about Julian.
It didn't really. It's just me winding you for Julian. So without further ado, Julian is here to chat and have a quiz on Sowerby Bridge. Okay. Thank you.
There you go. Oh,
thank you, Bob.
It's a good boy.
First of all, yeah, there is a quiz. I've just spoken to a couple of people who didn't think there was a quiz, and a look of disappointment when they heard they had to do a quiz was... anyway, there is a quiz. There'll be a lot of guessing involved. I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but a little chat, little talk. Can you get in here? Yeah.
No, do my teeth are my best feature.
Right.
James, take him out and show him proper.
When Michael stopped talking over there. Thanks for letting me by myself. Present this little quiz. I mean, incidentally, I might refer to a book, but I know quite a few have got this already. And particularly thanks to David Bolton, who I now know, I've spoken to on the phone a few times. A couple of reasons. One, I think he started the Facebook group Sowerby Bridge Images. Secondly, the front of this book is one of David's photographs. It's been doctored a bit. A well-known photograph, and some of the best photographs in the book, and there are lots of photographs, are David's. So, particular thanks to David. That was wonderful. Right. Yeah, I was a bit worried about being late actually. I was driving along, you know, I live in Ripponden, so a bit of an incomer. And even in Ripponden, an incomer, because originally came from near Liverpool. It's been 40 years, and they're gradually accepting my daughters in Ripponden. It's a very tight, close community. Anyway, I was coming along, and I was behind a pickup, and it was, I thought, I've got to draw back a bit. And the back of the pickup was a great big jacquard loom. You know, I've heard of those. And it was just weaving round and round. Don't worry, there will be no more jokes in this. That is a joke, yeah, that is a joke. In the book, the main things that make you laugh, they're not jokes. It's once you start seeing the number of typos and occasional inaccuracies. The first person I think I gave this book to, sold it to, was Michael. Within 20 seconds he said, "Shall I tell you about the typos now?" The next fella, he was a Ripponden man, a very knowledgeable man, and he said, "That's really good, Julian, but you know you've spelt yeomanry wrong. In fact, you put the West Yorkshire Yeoman Regiment. It's the West Yorkshire Yeomanry." So there's a lot of things, and a lot of you will know far more about some of these things than I do. So, you know, you just have to go with it, really, if there are typos and the occasional mistake. Right. The book. I've just got to explain a little bit about how it's paid for, because I forgot to do it in the book. The money for the book has largely come from Ryburn Valley History Society. I had a previous book, and they again paid for it, and then we sell it and then make a bit of profit for the History Society. But there wasn't enough. But what we did get was a grant from the council. This is why I need to tell you this. The Ryburn Ward Forum and the Sowerby Bridge Ward Forum both gave money to help in the cost of the book. So there's money from the History Society, money for that, and still wasn't enough to pay the printer. I mean, it's whatever you think of what's in the book, the actual colour and quality of the paper is very, very good. So we had to pay within 30 days. In fact, they wanted a certain amount within 2 weeks, which is fine. It's a business. So the printer wanted the money. So we were down about, altogether about £900, £800. So then I asked David if I could say to everyone, can we have any pre-orders? So some of you will have put your name down a month ago on the promise that you'd pay for it. And that's what happened. And within about 2 or 3 weeks, we had all the money. So we could pay the printer within 3 weeks. So it's any money that will eventually be made will go to the History Society. But you are people of this area, and you need to know the council does give money out, and it gave altogether £500 towards this year. Council, there you go. Right. No, you get good colourful books. And if you know you're stuck in a traffic jam in Sowerby, and most of us are, just get the book out. There's a beautiful picture here of so and so. So that's where you got to think like that. The book, just a small bit about it. Originally, it was me wanting to do a list. I did a previous book about mills in the Ryburn Valley, and bit of introductory stuff that I wanted to find out for myself about what cotton mills were, because I live right above Meadowcrofts, which was JLA today. So my first little book actually was about that, because I was working in the mill in a warehouse, and I found a big bag of the deeds, and I knew nothing about this mill. It was just below me. So anyway, so I made a little book, and then it was the Ryburn Valley Mills, so a little bit of introduction, but largely it was a list of 47 mills with details about them. You know, bits of history that I got from somewhere else and photographs, so that you have a record of what was there before people moved in, newcomers, or even people who were there, been there all their life. You know, you forget things get knocked down. So that was why I did that. I started this with the same point of view, which was to make a list, like a handbook. Think, oh, Clough Mill, I've heard of that. So you look in here, you find Clough Mill, and you find a few things about it. But eventually it got on more than that, and that's one of the problems. there's almost too much in it. So another bloke wanted to start, oh, I like that. So I learned a bit about George and Sowerby Bridge. Didn't know anything about it, but I like learning stuff like that. So I thought, oh, I'll do a section on that. And then I thought, oh, people who work there, I know a few people who work there, so I thought I'd do a section on that. So there is a problem, there's almost too much in it. In fact, a good friend of mine who was reading it, he said, Julian, it's really good, but it's very complicated, isn't it? He said, I'm ploughing through it. I said, that's a bit rude. But he was trying to read it. I said, I wouldn't expect people to read it. Some people might, but it's more likely to be a few things you like, and that's it. Now, one of the best things about it, for me, is selfishness, is talking to people and talking to people who used to work in the mills. And it is, although I like doing all the research and all that other stuff, talking to people, it's good because you learn quite a bit from them. And I feel a bit privileged because I'm learning about a life I didn't know about. You know, we all come from different backgrounds, I was from a different area. So you're learning about this, and then you gradually realise, whoa, this is a really big community. If you worked in the mill, it was a community. Now, by definition, the people who spoke to me will get quoted in here. Generally, they're looking back fondly on it, and I think most people do. Of course, there'll be people who didn't have a great time in their workplace. That's just the way it is. But people I spoke to eventually found out, yeah, community means different things. One is an awful lot of different types of jobs. You forget that. People, oh, I worked in a mill. Then you look at it, actually, there's sort of loads of different types of job in a mill. You know, from carrying stuff, very manual stuff, carrying bales in, to marketing, to selling, all sorts of stuff. So you learn about that, and also community in terms of the people learning from each other and being happy. So it was very nice for me to get some of that and learn a bit about it, and I hope, celebrate their lives a bit. Right, before the quiz, I'm just going to read a few excerpts, you'll see why, for you. Just happy for a moment. So, 3 little bits. So, the first couple of bits, they're from an entry, a talk I had, or several talks I had with Mary Crabtree, who I know a lot of you are good friends of. You know, I knew a little bit, I was very lucky to meet her. And I know her funeral is next Monday. She was lovely to talk to, but I'll just read a couple of little bits that she said. So, just about what life was in the mill for her. First of all, born in 1942, she was age 80 when I spoke to her. She left school at 15 and went straight into Ribandale Paper Mill, Bar Lane, Ripondham. In 1960, aged 18, she started at Lockhill Mills for Crossley Yarns, who had taken over for W&R.K. Lee Brothers. Some of you will know that very well, and one or two might have worked there. Just a little bit extra. She went to Dean Clough. Oh no, she didn't go to Dean Clough. Crossley took over, it went to Dean Clough, what she was doing. Whilst winding, this is what was done in the spinning department, that was all women. So this is just what I've written about it. Spinning, I've already got it wrong, you see. So spinning, which involved heavy cans, and carding were all men. This is where Mary was. Mary didn't like the winding as much as reeling. The nylon frequently broke on the winding machines, and it was hectic, constantly knotting the brakes. The reeling onto the creel was more enjoyable, but also piecework, and the pay higher. She always liked going to work. Relationships with the management and co-workers were good, and she made lifelong friends in the mill. So she says a little bit more. Now, if you're new to mills, I think about children here, and some of you I know are not from Sowerby Bridge and don't know much about mills, a bit like me originally, that's probably like a foreign language. We've got spinning, reeling, and winding, but I'm not going to attempt to explain them now. So they're all jobs. So that was Mary, and it was lovely knowing her for a little bit.